Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Meredith and I'm so excited that you're here to hang out with me today. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my favorite concealers. I'm so excited. These are my tried and true. I've used these for years and I'm actually wearing my favorite drugstore concealer and it is phenomenal. It's my favorite dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. So if you use that or you've heard good things and maybe you want to see my favorite dupe / you're trying to ball on a budget and you need a good concealer on a budget, I got you, girl. So just keep watching and I'll share with you all of my favorites. I have some drugstore, some high-end, some light coverage, some high coverage. I have clean beauty. I have drugstore. I have covered all the bases here. So if you want to know more about my favorite concealers and how I apply my concealer to create a very highlighted but clean look, we get up close and personal and I show you guys how I apply it without it looking cakey and sit in my creases all day. So keep on watching if you want to know all about that. Alrighty guys, before we get into applying any of the products, I'm going to show you all of them close up. Let's just dive through each and every one of them. First, we are going to start with obviously everyone's favorite. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. It is high coverage, high performance concealer. It is a cream concealer. It comes with a big doe foot applicator and it's an incredible concealer. It works so well to cover dark circles, to brighten. I wear the shade light and it works great for me. I like to get concealer that's just barely a shade lighter. I do not love a super bright under eye. If you do like that really bright under eye, I would suggest going down 2 or 3 shades from your natural skin color. But for me, I like to just go about 1 shade lighter and that gives me a good all over coverage, but also brightens a little bit at the same time. So this one's one of my favorite high-end concealers. You all know and love this product, so I won't dive too much into this, but let's keep on moving. Next up is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. This concealer is so high coverage. I think it probably is more high coverage than the Tarte concealer. It does not have any sort of applicator. It just comes out as a cream and it's pretty thick consistency, as you can tell, but very high coverage for sure. It's also waterproof, which is really great. It's a great thing to wear in the summer if you're going to the beach and you just want like a little bit of something under your eyes that's gonna stay all day. I love wearing this. I take the tiniest little drop and just dab it underneath my eyes during the summertime. Can help a ton. Even if you're just doing one of those like no makeup days, but really want those bags covered, I love this product because a tiny bit goes a long way. This will last you so long. And I wear the color light beige in this and it works really well. The main thing with this product, because it is thicker, a tiny bit goes a long way and will give you all the coverage you need. I know a lot of the Instagram videos, which really annoy me because they put on like tons of product and that is just so unnecessary. And actually the more product you put on, the cakier it's going to be, the more it's going to set in those fine lines, and the more it's just going to be like a powdered cakey mess underneath your eyes. And we really want to keep under the eyes bright and cheery, but we don't want them to look cakey and flat. So there's a great balance and I'm gonna get to that in just a second, showing you guys how I apply my product. But I love this concealer. If you're looking for a high coverage concealer, I would really recommend this one. So those are my 2 main high-end ones that I really love. If you're willing to splurge, those are my 2 ones that I would highly suggest. Okay, this is my clean beauty option. I know I'm saving my favorite drugstore dupe for last, but let's talk about my clean beauty for a second. This is by the brand Osmosis. Osmosis is a non-toxic holistic skincare line, and I actually working as an esthetician, this is the makeup that I use in the spa, but it's also what I wear at home. When I'm wearing mineral makeup, this is the concealer I wear underneath, and I wear this a ton in the summer. So my favorite thing about this guy right here is it's actually a treatment concealer. So it has a hydrating balm on this end that, let me see if I can find some room that doesn't have product on it. Has a hydrating balm that's really, really silky smooth, though it's gonna help with those fine lines underneath the eyes. So if you, maybe your mom or sister or whoever, friend, has really bad lines underneath their eyes where their eyes get really dry and concealer just sucks the life out of their eyes, this may be a great option for you. Plus, it's a really, really clean product, so if you're wanting to switch more towards a clean beauty lifestyle, this would be a great option for you. It still has that doe foot applicator, just a little bit smaller than, say, the Tarte one, but works so well, and I get great coverage from it. So this is a great option if you're looking for something more clean, but also really hydrating. I know it says anti-aging, as in it's probably made for more mature skin, but that's just mainly because it has the hydrating balm. I rarely use the hydrating balm because underneath my eyes is generally pretty smooth anyways, so I just tend to use the concealer, and I wear the color Silk, and it is, just like I said, about one shade lighter than my natural skin color and works great for me. Last but not least, I'm going to share with you guys my favorite drugstore concealer. Let me tell you, it is the absolute bomb, and compared to the Tarte, I wear this one more. So this is the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer, and it is so good. I hope you can maybe see that, but it is awesome. It comes with like a domed sponge on top. I always rip that off because it's just really unsanitary, and I'm not a fan of that. Just like products sitting in a sponge that like never gets washed is really gross to me. So I don't do that. This is just wonderful though, so it's worth doing that. So you twist it for product to come out, and product just comes out the top right here. And I usually just put it on the back of my hand. And I'll show you. I have so much concealer on my hands right now. It has such, hold on, how do I do this? Here we go. So it has such a creamy consistency, but look at that coverage. It is incredible. So creamy, so high coverage, and is just the perfect concealer. So this one is the drugstore, and this is my Tarte one. I have two different shades in these. They're not the same, and I know that. I have concealers in all sorts of shades for different reasons, because I like to wear them with different looks, and I want different concealers for different looks. But as you can tell, the Tarte one is much more flat. It is not as dewy as this one, and I really like how brightening this one is, as in it's so creamy. It blends really well, but even as you can tell, as I blend it and rub it in, it does not lose that coverage. So overall, this is so wonderful. It's really great if you are starting to see creases in your under eyes, puffiness, darkness, all of those things. It works really well for, and I would highly recommend it. I wear the color Ivory. It's the perfect shade because it really does brighten, and this is actually what I'm wearing on my face right now. It's really high coverage. As you can tell, you cannot see my dark circles. It's very brightening, and it works just as well as my Tarte concealer. I love it. I feel like it layers really well, and it also sets really well underneath my eyes. I don't feel like it slips, it doesn't slide, and just works so well for being a drugstore concealer. Next up, I'm going to show you guys how I apply this product. I'm so excited to show you guys because I have a couple of tips, tricks on how to use less product to get more coverage, more brightness, and less creasing underneath your eyes. So stay tuned. Next, I'm going to show you how I put it on, and I'm going to put it on this eye and keep this eye bare so that you can see the massive difference that this concealer makes on my skin and how easy it is to apply and that before and after, which is going to be drastic because my bags have been so bad lately. So you're going to get to see some coverage in full action today. So keep watching and I'll show you guys how I put it on. Like I said, I'm going to show you how I apply my favorite drugstore concealer. I talked through all of them like I said, but I'm actually going to show you how I apply this one today. This one is the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer. It's a multi-use concealer. Anyways, so you have to twist it and product will shoot out the top. Like I said, it comes with a sponge right here, like a domed sponge, but I ripped that part off because I just think that's really gross and unsanitary. So I just wipe it onto the back of my hand just until I get enough. And then I'm going to use my finger to apply. What I'm going to do to try and make sure that you don't get too much product, but we're getting enough coverage, I'm just going to dot here. And really, I want to focus right in these spots. So just right in here and then along here. So I really want to brighten up this inner portion of my eye here that naturally hollows in. And like I said, I have some pretty strong dark circles. So I like to do a good bit in here and then really make sure that I'm brightening this outer portion here. So I want the light to scoop and I want it to pull upwards. That's that general sweep we want, and less product is more. So now I'm going to take my sponge and just start to blend and tap that in. You can always add more product, but it's really hard once you've put too much on and you don't want cakey under eyes. And one of the biggest problems that people get with cakey under eyes is it's just you're putting on too much product. I think I'm going to go in with a little bit more. So like I said, we're just going to layer, but I'd rather start with just a little bit. So I'm just going to go right outside of where the dark circle is in here because I want to brighten up around. So again, just taking my sponge and dabbing it in. Okay, but how much better does this look than this? As you can tell, it's just really smooth. I've gotten really close. Like I said, I'm not wearing any makeup underneath the bottom here. So I was able to get really close, and it's just gonna take time. Press it into the skin like this. And I usually just take whatever excess is left on my sponge afterwards and just tap it on my nose. As you can tell, I've now brightened up this area and pulled light up here. So I've really worked to brighten and pull, and it has pretty good coverage. I mean, compared to this. So after you put this on, we're gonna wanna set it. Now, again, I do bake under my eyes sometimes, but I wanna tell you 9 times out of 10, I do it just for the picture. If I'm actually going out and about, I usually wouldn't bake under my eyes, but I still will use the same powder. So I'm going to use my Coty Air Spun powder, and this is in translucent extra coverage, and this is my Glow Cosmetics angled complexion brush, and it's just like a dense brush, but I'm going to take product and make sure you tap it off. And then I'm just going to lightly press that in underneath my eyes. This is going to give you a nice smooth look without it looking cakey. So once powder is applied, you can just see, I mean, this is as up close and personal as we can get right now, but how smooth underneath here is, and it's just matte and looks so pretty and smooth. And it's also set without having to use the baking method. Baking works great, it just can look cakey, especially if you crease a lot underneath through here. Newsflash, everyone is going to crease under there. It is just absolutely impossible to stop that from happening at some point, but we can help tremendously. So as you can tell, I mean, everyone has little lines right here, but making sure that you set with just a little bit of powder is going to help that a lot. And I love this brush for this because just pressing it in instead of swiping, you don't ever want to swipe powder on top of a cream like that. It's going to move the product. So once we've bounced the product into the skin with our beauty sponge, we just want to now press powder and continue to set that in. That's going to keep that coverage as high as we can get it while still setting at the same time. And that all looks so smooth compared to this side of my face. Hey guys, we are all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I loved sharing with you guys my favorite concealers, drugstore and high-end, walking you through clean beauty, expensive concealers, my favorite drugstore concealer. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. I love sharing with y'all my favorites, my all-time tried and true products that I really do wear every single day and love. I use these on my clients, I use them on myself, I use them at work. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope it added value to your life. And if you love a drugstore concealer, drop it in the comments below and I'd love to try it. Or if you're going to try out one of these, comment below and let me know which one you're going to try. As always, every single product that I used today, all of these concealers and my sponge and brushes that I used and powder will be down below in the description box, and you can shop all the products that I used today because I want you guys to grab them because I want you guys to love them as much as I do because I think they're so incredible. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, like this video. It helps me out so much, and I just love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next week.